Hey everybody, and welcome to The Feather Pen. I'm your host, Derek Hayes. Give me your opinion because I'm surely going to give you mine. In today's episode, we'll talk about ISIS and the recent presidential address about America's response. Do we know the full story? Stay tuned for more on The Feather Pen. If you haven't heard about the new bad boys in the Middle East, ISIS, well, you live under a rock. Recent destabilization in the Middle East has caused outrage as many minority groups, including Christians, have been persecuted in the Middle East. Also, 2 American journalists and 1 British journalist have been beheaded, and ISIS has taken claim. On September 10th, just 1 day shy of our 9/11 anniversary, President Obama addressed the nation in which he outlined 4 key points to dealing with ISIS. 1. Continue airstrikes. 2. Support troops already on the ground. 3. Draw on our substantial counterterrorism capabilities. And 4. Provide humanitarian assistance to innocent civilians. Support troops on the ground. Well, that would mean opposition fighters like Ammar al-Wawi. His response to the president? We need more weapons, not training. Al-Wawi, a commander in the Free Syrian Army, said, "We cannot win this war without anti-aircraft, anti-tank weaponry, no matter what the United States does." Reuters reports a significant part of Obama's plan hinges on congressional approval of $500 million to train and equip Free Syrian Army rebels to, quote, strengthen the opposition as the best counterweight to the extremists, end quote. The $500 million was part of a plan to build on a covert CIA-led effort based out of Jordan and run by the Department of Defense. The rebels there would be vetted by U.S. officials to screen out hardline Islamists. However, some in the news media are beginning to question how moderate the moderate Free Syrian Army really is. Alex Newman, a writer for The New American, says this: "One major problem with that strategy, of course, is that even the supposed moderate Syrian opposition, all of whom proudly describe themselves as Islamists and jihadists fighting for Allah against an apostate regime, have openly boasted of their collaboration with both Al-Qaeda and ISIS. In fact, Lebanon's Daily Star newspaper quotes Commander Idris of the Free Syrian Army as saying, 'We are collaborating with the Islamic State and the Al-Qaeda-linked Nusra Front by attacking the Syrian armies gathering in Qalaman.'" And remember that CIA covert operation in Jordan? Well, World Net Daily's journalist Aaron Klein reports Jordanian security officials cited, quote, "Dozens of future ISIS members were trained at the time as part of covert aid to the insurgents targeting the regime of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad in Syria." Klein reports that the officials also said all ISIS members who received U.S. training to fight in Syria were first vetted for any links to extremist groups like Al-Qaeda, end quote. Alex Newman says, worse still perhaps is that Obama was reportedly training actual ISIS fighters in Jordan under the guise of helping moderate rebels overthrow Assad. Couple this with the beheadings of journalists Steven Sotloff and James Foley, and President Obama may have one huge PR nightmare on his hands. Olivia Pope, anyone? And if what the Sotloff family reports is found meritorious, this may be more than just a play on words. The Sotloff family spokesman, Barack Barfi, told Anderson Cooper that he was one of the last people to speak with Steven Sotloff. For $50,000, they believe Sotloff's position was compromised. A fake checkpoint was set up in which Sotloff was then kidnapped. To be fair, a senior administration official and Syrian opposition officials say there are no facts to support such claims. In recent news, both the House and the Senate have agreed to work with the Free Syrian Army, effectively arming the opposition. Also in recent news, former Secretary of Defense Robert Gates, who worked with President Obama in his first term, said he believed it was not possible to win this war without boots on the ground. And if that wasn't enough, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dempsey, had this to say. To be clear, if we reach the point where I believe our advisors should accompany Iraqi troops on attacks against specific ISIL targets, I will recommend that to the president. So if you find yourself confused about our response to ISIS, well, then join the club. I think that even those in the mainstream media have a little bit of haze about what's going on. One thing that we can count on, though, is historical fact. For instance, in the 1980s, it was Russia invading Afghanistan at the time, and the Mujahideen, who were the fighting opposition, the United States armed them. And I bet you can't guess who was a part of that fighting opposition. That's right, Osama bin Laden himself, and then Al-Qaeda branched off from there. And to be sure, I'm not trying to say that that could happen over again, but I am trying to say that that could happen again. But anyway, but we also get to see the beauty of our founding fathers and the road that they paved for us. Now, a lot of people think that they were non-interventionists, and I don't really get that when I read their documents, but maybe other people do. But I think they were clear in saying, hey, if it's not our fight, we're staying out of that. We're not going to get involved with foreign entanglements. We're not going to have long drawn out treaties with other nations. I mean, this was the commentary of the day. And it's kind of clear that, hey, if we would keep to that path, that maybe we wouldn't be where we are, and maybe we would. Maybe there is some credibility in saying, hey, the United States is blessed, and we have a responsibility to share that, and to help other nations out. However, I highly doubt that the founding fathers would have thought it best to arm people who, man, they really don't have the same ideals as you, just so that they can find another group that doesn't have the same ideals as you. I highly doubt that that was in the game plan. But man, let me know what you think. I mean, this is not a war. Some people are saying it is a war. We don't really know. Again, there's a lot of haze to it. But what do you think about all of this going on? And so let me know. Leave your comments there at the bottom. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all that kind of good stuff. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, this is Derek reminding you that this is the land of the free, as long as it's the home of the brave. So go do something courageous today. Peace.